listen to me carefully. Until you become sincerely grateful for what is already in your hands, life will not trust you with more. You may work hard, you may complain loudly, you may envy those who seem ahead of you, but you will feel as if you are walking against an invisible wind. That resistance is not always injustice. Many times it is law. You cannot attract what you secretly insult. You cannot multiply what you refuse to value. You say you want abundance, but if you are honest, how often do you speak about your life as if it is nothing, as if you are empty, as if there is no opportunity where you are? That attitude alone is enough to block what you say you desire. You have been trained to look outward and upward for reasons to be thankful. You imagine that gratitude belongs to the man who already has the fortune, the estate, the recognition, the comfort. You tell yourself, when I arrive there, then I will be grateful. That is exactly backward. Gratitude is not the decoration placed on success. It is the foundation under it. You do not become grateful because you are successful. You become successful because you are grateful. A man without gratitude is like a farmer who curses his own soil and then wonders why it produces nothing good. Look at your own speech. Do you speak more about what is wrong or about what is right? Do you rehearse your problems or your possibilities? You might argue, but my situation truly is difficult. That may be true. Gratitude is not blindness. It does not pretend that pain is pleasant. It does not deny injustice or insult. It does not ask you to call bitterness sweet. It asks a sharper question. Even here, is there anything I can learn, anything I still possess, anything I can build with? If the answer is yes, and it is almost always yes, then you still have material for gratitude, and therefore you still have material for advancement. You must understand the nature of your own mind. Wherever you place your attention, your mind begins to work. If you dwell on what you lack, your mind becomes an inventor of excuses. It will supply you with endless reasons why you cannot move, why others have it easier, why effort is useless. If you dwell on what you have, your mind becomes an inventor of uses. It will begin to ask, what can I do with this? How can this be improved? Where can this lead? In one case, you train your mind to defend your limitations. In the other, you train it to discover your possibilities. Gratitude is the deliberate decision to train it in the second direction. Consider the man who wakes and says, nothing ever changes for me. I am stuck. He drags his body through the day. His eyes are open, but his mind is closed. He misses small chances because he has decided in advance that there are none. He does his work with just enough effort to avoid punishment. If anything new appears, he dismisses it with a wave of the hand. This man believes life has abandoned him, but the truth is he has abandoned life. He has shut the door from his side. Now consider another man with the same pay, the same town, the same apparent limitations. He wakes and says, I am thankful I can work. I am thankful I can think. I am thankful I can choose how I use this day. He enters his tasks with the intention to do them well, not because someone is watching, but because he understands that he is training himself. He notices problems others ignore and quietly begins solving them. He learns, he improves. He treats people with respect instead of resentment. To observers, he seems no different from the first man at first glance, but over months and years, they diverge. Opportunities that do not exist for the first man somehow appear for the second. You may call this luck if you wish. I call it law. Life extends more to the man who invests what he already has. Gratitude is the spirit of investment. When you are grateful for a skill, you sharpen it. When you are grateful for a relationship, you nurture it. When you are grateful for work, you elevate your performance. This extra care increases the value you create. Value attracts reward. The man who despises his tools will never become a master. The man who appreciates them, however simple, will eventually be trusted with better ones. Notice also what gratitude does to your energy. A complaining mind drains itself before it begins. Every task feels heavier because you have tied a weight of resentment to it. You say, "Why must I do this?" And you feel your strength sink. A grateful mind adds fuel instead of weight. You say, "This is my chance to practice. This is my chance to prove something to myself. This is my chance to create order where there was confusion." With that attitude, the same task becomes lighter. The work has not changed. You have changed. And when you change, everything you touch responds. You may object, "I cannot simply decide to be grateful. My feelings do not obey orders." That is correct. But your thoughts can be directed, and your feelings will follow them in time. Gratitude, like any habit, begins as a discipline before it becomes a nature. You do not wait to feel grateful before you practice it. You practice it so that you will feel it. You instruct your mind, list what is good, list what is strong, list what is possible. At first it resists. It prefers the familiar path of complaint. Persist. A mind can be trained just as surely as a body. Begin with what is undeniable. Are you capable of learning? Then be grateful for that capacity and use it daily. Are you capable of work? Be grateful and work. Do you have even one person who wishes you well? Be grateful and honor that relationship. Do you have access to ideas through books and experience? Be grateful and study them. Do you possess health enough to act today? Be grateful and act. These may seem small compared with grand dreams, but a fortune is made of many coins. The man who dishonors small coins never gathers large ones. Gratitude also corrects your relationship with desire. Desire is good. Without it, nothing moves. But when desire is twisted by ingratitude, it turns into a constant cry of not enough. No matter what you gain, the cry continues. You imagine that your dissatisfaction stems from your circumstances, when much of it comes from the way you think about them. A grateful man can desire more without despising what he has. He can say, "I am thankful for this level of growth, and I intend to reach the next." That balance allows him to be both content and ambitious. He is not paralyzed by the thought, "I must have everything at once," nor is he numbed by the thought, "I should not want anything." He is at peace and in motion at the same time. There is a profound difference between a man who reaches for more because he believes he is cursed with lack, and a man who reaches for more because he believes he is blessed with potential. Gratitude places you in the second group. It makes you see your abilities, your experiences, your lessons, even the painful ones, as resources, not as proof that you are doomed. With that view, when you plan, you are not begging life to fix you. You are organizing the riches you already have into a form that can serve more people. That attitude is magnetic. When you begin to live this way, the line between ordinary day and special day disappears. Every day becomes the field on which you can plant and harvest. You stop waiting for some mighty sign that now your life begins. You understand that it has already begun, and that ignoring today while dreaming of tomorrow is the surest way never to arrive. Gratitude pulls your attention out of fantasy and anchors it in the present, because the present is the only place where you can act. As you anchor yourself in this way, you will see more clearly what you have overlooked for years. You will see that many of the things you begged for long ago are now normal to you. You prayed for a door, now you walk through it every morning without a second thought. You long for knowledge, now you possess it, and you speak of it as if it is nothing special. Gratitude reminds you that these are answered desires. When you recognize them as such, you stop telling the universe that it never responds to you. You see that it has been responding all along, and this recognition strengthens your faith that it will respond again. This is the starting point. Before you attempt to pull new possibilities toward you, you must discover and honor the ones that are already within your reach. Once you do that, something subtle but real begins to shift in your relationship with life. You no longer behave as the starving man pounding on a locked gate. You behave as the steward of a garden, tending it carefully, knowing that as you work with what is here, more will grow out of it, sometimes in ways you could not have predicted. That is the promise hidden inside gratitude, and it becomes clearer as you learn to practice it in deliberate, simple ways every day. Now that you understand gratitude as the foundation, you must learn to use it as a tool. A tool is only as powerful as the hand that directs it. Many say they are grateful, but their gratitude is vague, weak, and occasional. It appears in moments of emotion and disappears at the first hint of inconvenience. That kind of gratitude will not transform your life. You need gratitude that is specific, disciplined, and continuous. You need gratitude that reaches into your thinking, your speaking, and your acting. Begin with your thinking. Your thoughts are not random visitors. They are guests you invite by habit. If you spend your mental hours dwelling on what is wrong, you are rolling out a carpet for more thoughts of the same kind. You must interrupt this procession. A practical way to do this is to give your mind a daily assignment. Each morning, before you step into the noise of the world, sit alone for a few minutes and ask yourself 3 questions. First, what do I already have that supports my goals? Second, what did yesterday give me that I can use today? Third, what can I do today to honor what I have been given? Write your answers. Do not keep them floating in your head. Writing forces clarity. One man may say, I am grateful for my experience in this trade. Yesterday I learned a mistake that I will not repeat. Today I will honor that by working with more care and by teaching someone else how to avoid it. Another may say, I am grateful for my ability to persuade. Yesterday I convinced a reluctant customer, which taught me patience. Today I will honor that by refining my approach instead of relying on luck. These are not grand speeches. They are simple directions, but repeated daily, they train your mind to look for use instead of reasons to quit. Next, bring gratitude into your speech. Words are carriers of power. They influence others, but they also echo in your own mind. When you constantly say, I am tired of this, nothing ever improves. People are hopeless. Opportunities are gone. You pour poison into your own ears as well as into the ears of those around you. You may think you are relieving pressure by venting, but you are actually replanting the same seeds you claim to hate. If you wish to attract more than you imagine, you must guard your mouth as you would guard a vault. This does not mean you must babble silly phrases of false cheerfulness. It means you must speak truth in a way that builds instead of destroys. Instead of saying, this place offers nothing, say, this place is challenging, but it is training me. I will use it and then outgrow it. Instead of saying, no one ever helps me, say, I am learning to stand on my own feet and I am thankful for that strength. When help comes, I will appreciate it more. Instead of saying, I am stuck, say, I am preparing. The facts may be the same, the interpretation is different. Gratitude speaks from the second interpretation. Then Bring gratitude into your actions. Many men claim to be thankful in their hearts, but their behavior contradicts their words. They say, I am grateful for my work, and then arrive late, leave early, and complain in between. They say, I am grateful for my health, while they treat their body as an afterthought. They say, I am grateful for my family, yet they offer them only their fatigue and irritation. This is not gratitude. It is sentimental talk. Real gratitude moves your hands and your feet. It makes you take better care of what you claim to appreciate. Ask yourself, if I truly were thankful for this job, how would I behave? If I truly were thankful for this opportunity to learn, how would I study? If I truly were thankful for this person, how would I speak to them and about them? Let your behavior answer these questions. A man who is actually grateful will invest his attention, time, and energy differently. He will not be careless with his tools, his environment, or his agreements. He will not drift through his days as if they were worthless. He will behave as if each day is a coin he has no right to waste. As you practice this, you will find something remarkable. You become more attractive, not in the shallow sense of charm, but in the deep sense of reliability. People sense where they are valued and where they are not. They are drawn to environments where effort is noticed, where respect is given, where gratitude is genuine. When you become such a person, you create such an environment wherever you go. Colleagues will want to work beside you. Mentors will be more willing to guide you. Customers will remember you. Opportunities will prefer you over those whose attitude is sour and thankless. Gratitude will also sharpen your vision for improvement. When you appreciate something, you want to see it thrive. A man who is grateful for his craft will constantly look for ways to refine it. He will notice small flaws that others ignore and correct them, not because he is watched, but because he cares. A man who is grateful for his surroundings will keep them in order. He will repair what is broken instead of stepping over it. A man who is grateful for his mind will feed it with strong ideas instead of letting it rot on trivialities. This constant attention is how excellence is built. Excellence does not spring fully formed from desire. It emerges from long, grateful care. Furthermore, gratitude keeps your heart open to cooperation. A man who believes he has been cheated by life tends to see others as competitors for a tiny portion. He suspects their motives, resents their gains, and hoards information. In such a climate, only small things can be done, because no one can trust anyone. A grateful man knows that value can be created, not only divided. He says, I am thankful for what I can do, and I am thankful for what others can do. Together we can produce what none of us could produce alone. This attitude builds teams, enterprises, and communities. It attracts those who are tired of the constant struggle for crumbs and are ready to bake larger loaves. Do not forget that gratitude must be extended inward as well as outward. You have spent years criticizing yourself for every misstep. You have called yourself names in your own mind that you would never dare say to another person. You have told yourself that you are behind, that you are weak, that you have wasted too much time. Then you wonder why you hesitate when new opportunities appear. How can you boldly accept good things while secretly convinced that you do not deserve them? You cannot. That belief pulls you back. Begin to speak differently to yourself. Recognize your errors, yes, but also recognize your courage, your persistence, your improvements. Be grateful to yourself for not giving up on the days when quitting seemed reasonable. Be grateful for the way you have endured humiliation and continued. Be grateful for the times you acted with integrity when compromise would have been easier. Recognize these as real achievements. They form your character which is the ultimate source of your future wealth. When you treat yourself with that kind of honest gratitude, you stop seeing yourself as the enemy and start seeing yourself as an ally. You no longer waste energy fighting your own reflection. You no longer sabotage your own efforts because you secretly believe you are unworthy of success. Instead, you say, I have many flaws, but I am learning. I have many failures behind me, but I am still willing. I am thankful for both. That state of mind creates room for success to settle in you instead of bouncing off a wall of self-contempt. As gratitude reshapes your thinking, your speech, and your action, something else becomes possible. You can finally distinguish between what you truly want and what you only chased to hide your pain. A man who lives in ingratitude often pursues goals that do not belong to his soul. He looks at others and says, they have this, so I must have it too. He imagines that possessing what they possess will erase the gnawing sense of lack within him. Even if he achieves it, he finds the feeling unchanged. That is because the hole was not in his environment, it was in his attitude. A grateful man is not immune to ambition, but his ambition is cleaner. He can look at another's success and admire it without needing to copy it. He can say, I am thankful such things are possible. Now, what form of success is right for me, given my gifts, my values, my calling? Gratitude calms the restless need to prove something to the world. It opens space for you to seek what truly fits you. The success that grows out of that fit will satisfy in a way borrowed dreams never can. This is why gratitude is not a sentimental luxury. It is a practical necessity for anyone who wishes to attract more than he imagines. It clears your vision, sharpens your judgment, stabilizes your emotions, and tunes your desires. Without it, whatever you gain will feel hollow or will slip through your fingers. With it, even modest beginnings can be turned into something great, because you have learned to see, to use, and to magnify what others ignorantly despise. There is a deeper level at which gratitude operates, one that touches the invisible machinery of your mind. Your subconscious accepts what you repeatedly impress upon it. If you constantly tell yourself, my life is barren, my efforts are pointless, my future is dark, that message sinks into your inner mind and becomes a command. It begins to filter your perception so that you notice only what confirms that belief. You walk past open doors without seeing them because your inner vision insists that doors are closed to you. When you practice gratitude, you are issuing different commands. You are telling your subconscious, there is value here. There is progress here. There is hope here. There are resources here. Over time, your inner mind accepts these statements and begins to reorganize your attention accordingly. You start noticing bits of information you would have dismissed before. You start making connections between ideas. You remember people who might be able to help and people you might help in ways that never occurred to you earlier. Nothing outside you has changed, yet your world looks richer because your inner instrument has been tuned to detect richness. This is not mysterious. It is the same principle by which a man who learns a new word suddenly hears it everywhere. The word was always present. His mind simply did not flag it as important until he made it so. Gratitude does this for opportunities, strengths, and solutions. It labels them as important, and therefore your mind begins to report them to you. The man who insists that nothing good exists in his life trains his mind to overlook it. The man who insists, through gratitude, that something good must exist trains his mind to search until it is found. To use this principle consciously, you can combine gratitude with definite self-suggestion. Each day, declare to yourself sentences such as, I am thankful that I am becoming more capable of handling wealth and responsibility. I am thankful that every experience, pleasant or painful, is adding to my understanding. I am thankful that I already possess the seeds of the success I seek, and I am learning to cultivate them. Speak these not as empty flattery, but as determined choices. You are telling your inner mind which truths to magnify. As you repeat such statements faithfully and back them with action, your subconscious begins to accept them as part of your identity. It starts matching them with observations from your daily life. Yes, you handle that problem better than last time. Yes, you learned from that mistake instead of collapsing. Yes, you showed restraint with your resources. Yes, you persisted when you once would have quit. Each small proof strengthens the suggestion. In time, I am becoming a wise steward of my life, ceases to be a sentence and becomes a fact. When this happens, an important fear begins to fade, the fear of more. Many men claim they want great success, but deep within, they are terrified of it. They suspect that if money came, it would reveal their foolishness. If influence came, it would expose their character. If opportunity came, it would shame their unpreparedness. Because they have not trained themselves to be grateful for and faithful with what they already have, they secretly know that more would only enlarge their confusion. Gratitude expressed in disciplined care over your present possessions and circumstances gives you a different conviction. You begin to feel, not arrogantly, but quietly, I can handle more. I have proven this by how I treat what is already in my hands. This inner assurance does not come from wishful thinking. It comes from the record of your own conduct. You look around and see improved order where there was disorder, improved relationships where there was strain, improved skill where there was clumsiness. You see evidence that you are already multiplying what you have. This evidence removes the inner resistance to increase. You no longer say, I hope I get rich one day, while another voice inside whispers, and then my weaknesses will ruin me. You say instead, as I grow, my capacity grows with me. I am thankful for that. Now, wealth does not look like a threatening flood. It looks like a larger field for the same faithful habits you have already begun to practice. Gratitude also protects you from the arrogance that destroys many successful men. Without gratitude, achievement quickly turns into vanity. A man starts to believe that he alone is the cause of everything he enjoys. He forgets the opportunities he did not create, the people who helped him, the circumstances he did not control. He looks down on those who have not yet achieved as if they are inferior beings. This attitude isolates him. He loses honest advisors, attracts flatterers, and begins making decisions from pride instead of wisdom. Collapse usually follows. A grateful man cannot easily fall into this trap because he remembers. He remembers the days when his skills were undeveloped and someone patient taught him. He remembers the seasons when his efforts were invisible and yet something kept him going. He remembers that he did not choose where to be born, what health to possess, what talents to receive at the beginning. He acknowledges his own efforts, yes, but he sees them as part of a larger cooperation with forces beyond his control. He says, I am thankful, and in saying so, he keeps his ego in check. This humility does not weaken him, it strengthens him. Because he is not busy defending his image as an infallible genius, he can admit mistakes quickly and correct them. Because he is not concerned with appearing superior, he can hire people smarter than himself in certain areas. Because he does not believe that his worth depends on always being right, he can listen. Gratitude makes him wise enough to keep growing even after he has achieved what others would call enough. That continued growth is precisely what allows him to surpass those who stop to admire themselves. Gratitude also refines your attitude toward others' misfortunes and fortunes. When you are ungrateful, another person's success feels like an attack on you, and another person's failure feels like your secret vindication. You listen eagerly to stories of someone's downfall because it temporarily eases the pressure you feel to improve. This is a petty way to live, and it keeps you small. A grateful man feels no need to feed himself on such tales. His sense of worth is anchored in what he is building, not in the rubble of someone else's mistakes. He can look at another's success and say, "Good. This shows what can be done." He can look at another's failure and say, "There is a warning for me. I will learn from it." He is thankful for both examples. This posture keeps him balanced. He does not worship others, nor does he relish their pain. He remains focused on his own path, enriched by observation instead of distracted by comparison. That kind of focus is rare, and where it exists, results accumulate. There is one more field where gratitude works a quiet revolution: your perception of time ahead. Without gratitude, the future seems either threatening or empty. You project your disappointments forward and expect more of the same. You may still speak of hope, but it is thin. Part of you believes that nothing you do will really matter, that fate will play the same cruel jokes indefinitely. Under such a belief, you will not work with full heart. You will half try and then point to the outcome as proof that your hopelessness was justified. Gratitude allows you to see the future as fertile. You say, "I am thankful that although I cannot control everything, I can control my response. I am thankful that I have learned from my past. I am thankful that today I can plant better seeds than I planted yesterday." This attitude makes the future look open instead of closed. You do not know exactly what will come, but you know that you will meet it as a man who has not wasted his lessons. That confidence energizes your efforts. When such a man plans, he does not write timid wishes. He writes clear intentions backed by grateful recognition of what is already available to him. He does not say, "If only I had what others have, I could begin." He says, "Here is what I have. Here is what I have learned. Here is what I can do today. I am thankful for all of it, and I will use it fully." Such a plan, repeated over days and years, is far more powerful than any desperate scheme born from envy and self-disgust. It is steady, and steady effort, infused with gratitude, is unstoppable. You may now see that gratitude is not a decorative virtue, but a central strategy for a rich life. Yet there is still one more dimension to consider: gratitude as a way of standing before the unseen order of existence itself. Whether you speak of God, providence, or simply the deep law woven into life, you must recognize that there are forces beyond your will that cooperate with you or refuse to, depending on how you align yourself. Gratitude is one of the chief ways you align. When you are grateful, you are essentially saying, "I recognize that good exists in my life, that I am not abandoned, that meaning can be found even in hardship. I choose to see myself not as a victim in a hostile universe, but as a student in a demanding but generous one." This decision shapes the quality of your faith. Faith is not mere optimism. It is the confident expectation that effort guided by principle will bear fruit in due season. Gratitude feeds this expectation. It reminds you that seeds you planted long ago have already sprouted in ways you once could not see. It strengthens your trust that current seeds will do the same. Without gratitude, your faith starves. You begin to believe that nothing responds to you, that your actions vanish into a void. Of course, you grow discouraged. Of course, you begin to live carelessly. You see no connection between your attitude and your outcomes. Gratitude restores that connection. It makes you notice all the times when persistence finally paid, when a past kindness returned unexpectedly, when a closed door protected you from harm you only understood later. You say, I am thankful this law is real, and your faith gains muscle. This stronger faith changes your posture in the present. You no longer grasp frantically at every chance as if it will be your last. You no longer betray your values in the hope of a quick result. You can say, if I honor the law will honor me. If I keep sowing with care, the harvest will come, perhaps from directions I cannot yet imagine. This calm confidence is attractive. It draws to you those who are tired of panic and are looking for steadiness. It also makes you capable of waiting without decaying. Many wait, but they corrode while they wait. Gratitude preserves them. As you practice this in your inner life, you must also practice it in visible ways. Make a habit of expressing thanks directly to people who have influenced you. Write to the teacher who challenged you, the colleague who supported you, the friend who stood by you when you were failing. Be specific. Tell them what they did and what it meant to you. In doing so, you increase the good that was already done. You strengthen the bond between you. You also train yourself to notice help instead of assuming it. Extend the same spirit to those you lead. If you are in any position of authority over a team, a family, a group, make it your habit to recognize genuine effort. Do not flatter, that is another form of deceit. But when you see diligence, honesty, creativity, say so. Express your gratitude. A man who hears you matter from someone he respects will often give more than he believed he had. A woman who hears, I noticed what you did, will carry that recognition like a light in dark days. Your gratitude becomes a multiplier of their potential, and in multiplying theirs, you multiply your own. Do the same for the conditions in which you live. Keep your space in order as a sign of appreciation. Repair what you can instead of cursing its age. Clean what you use instead of assuming someone else will. These small acts may seem trivial, but they are symbols. A disordered outer life often reflects inner ingratitude. You do not honor what you throw around carelessly. When you begin taking better care of your surroundings, you are declaring, I value being here. I value what I have. I am ready for more. Carry gratitude into your handling of money. Record what comes in and what goes out. Do not close your eyes when you spend as if you are ashamed or fearful. Be deliberate. When you pay a bill, be thankful that you had the means. When you save, be thankful that you are building stability. When you invest, be thankful that you are planting for tomorrow. In this way, money ceases to be a source of constant anxiety and becomes a field in which you operate as a responsible steward. You will find that as your confidence grows, so does your comfort. And as your comfort grows, you can think more clearly about how to attract and direct more. Gratitude will also influence how you handle success when it becomes visible. There will come a time, if you are faithful, when others begin to notice what you have built. They will praise you. They will ask for your story. They will look to you for guidance. This attention is dangerous if you let it intoxicate you. You may be tempted to exaggerate your struggles, to hide your mistakes, to present yourself as a self-created wonder. Resist that. Thank people for their recognition. But remember who you were when no one was watching, and be grateful for the entire journey, not only the shining moments. Tell the truth when you speak of your path. Acknowledge the help you received, the failures that taught you, the delays that formed you. Give thanks for them openly. This humility will not diminish you in the eyes of thoughtful listeners. It will deepen their respect. They will see that your success is not a loud costume, but a quiet result of law applied over time. Such respect is the highest form of admiration. It does not depend on constant performance. It endures. Finally, recognize that gratitude is both a beginning and a destination. You start by being thankful for small things so that you can grow into a man to whom large things can be entrusted. As those large things come, you discover that the real joy is not in the size of what you hold, but in the spirit in which you hold it. A bitter rich man is poorer than a grateful man of moderate means. A restless, famous man is more imprisoned than a grateful unknown. Success, in its truest form, is not merely having more than others. It is living with a heart that sees the richness of its own existence and uses that richness to serve, to build, to uplift. Gratitude is the doorway to that kind of success. It opens your eyes to what is already present. It opens your mind to what can be made from it. It opens your hands to receive more without fear and to release more without regret. So begin where you are. Do not wait for a different city, a different sum in your account, a different response from the world. Look around you now. Name what is good. Name what is usable. Name what has already been given to you in skill, in knowledge, in experience, in relationship, and in opportunity. Thank life for each one. Then prove your thanks. Work more carefully. Speak more constructively. Spend more wisely. Study more earnestly. Help more generously. Do this not once, not for a week, but as a way of being. In time, you will look back and see that the line of your life is bent. What you once called luck will reveal itself as a chain of responses to your own change of heart. You will have attracted more than you imagined, not because you begged loudly, but because you finally honored what you were always meant to be, a creator, a steward, and a grateful beneficiary of the vast, quiet generosity of life itself. You have seen now that gratitude is not a gentle feeling for quiet moments, but a working power. Yet if you stop with understanding and do not turn it into a lifelong discipline, it will fade like a dream. The world will pull at you. Disappointments will return. Old habits of complaint will try to reclaim their throne. You must decide, firmly and deliberately, that you will live as a grateful man, not merely think gratefully when it is convenient. This decision is not made once. It is renewed daily. Each morning you rise, you are given back your mind as a blank field. You must choose what to plant in it. If you do not plant gratitude, the weeds of resentment and fear will grow by themselves. Make a simple rule with yourself. Never begin your day by rehearsing what is missing. Begin it by recognizing what is present. When you open your eyes, say inwardly, I have been given another day. I am not entitled to it. It is a gift. I will not throw it away with complaining. Before you step into your work, take a few moments to list in your thoughts or on paper 3 things for which you are genuinely thankful. Do not reach for grand statements. Be honest. I am thankful for this body that can move. I am thankful for these hands that can work. I am thankful for this mind that can think. You may repeat these many times. That is not weakness, that is training. Then add 3 more reasons connected to your present circumstances, however limited they may be. I am thankful for this job because it gives me a place to practice discipline. I am thankful for this challenge because it forces me to grow. I am thankful for this small amount of money because it teaches me how to manage, and what I learn now will serve me when more comes. You may not feel excitement as you say these things. No matter, you are not entertaining yourself, you are instructing your soul. Feelings will follow conduct, not lead it. Throughout the day, use difficulties as signals to return to gratitude. When something goes wrong, do not let your first question be, why me? Let it be, what can I thank life for, even here? Perhaps you can be thankful that the mistake was small and not fatal. Perhaps you can be thankful that the problem revealed itself now, while it can still be corrected. Perhaps you can be thankful simply that you are strong enough to face it. These answers may come slowly at first. Force your mind to search until it finds them. In doing this, you are not denying reality. You are enlarging it. You are refusing to let the difficulty occupy the entire field of your vision. In the same way, use moments of ease as reminders. When something pleasant happens, a kind word, a good meal, a quiet evening, do not rush past it as if it is nothing. Pause. Say inwardly, "This too is a gift. I am grateful." By doing so, you prevent yourself from becoming the kind of person who treats comfort as if it were owed. Familiarity can make you blind. Many live in conditions they once prayed for, and yet talk as if they have nothing. Gratitude strips the dust from your eyes. It lets you enjoy what you already possess instead of forever chasing the horizon. There is a secret benefit in this practice. Your capacity for joy increases. A man who is ungrateful may require large and dramatic events to feel anything. He must have constant entertainment, constant novelty, constant excitement, and even then he quickly grows bored. A grateful man can draw deep satisfaction from simple things. The warmth of sunlight on his skin, the taste of plain food after a day of hard work, the sound of honest laughter, the sight of something well made, these nourish him. Because he has trained his attention, his world is rich where others are empty. This does not mean he lacks ambition. On the contrary, his ambition is more powerful because it is not poisoned by constant dissatisfaction. He can enjoy where he is while moving toward where he wishes to go. That balance keeps him from the madness of those who arrive at their goals only to discover that they cannot rest for even a moment without feeling worthless. You have seen such men, restless in victory, unable to sit in a quiet room, chasing one more conquest because they do not know how to be grateful for what they already have. They are slaves to their own achievements. Gratitude breaks those chains. As you practice, pay attention to how gratitude influences your courage. Fear whispers, "If you lose this, you will have nothing. If you fail at this, you will be finished." Gratitude answers, "I have already received and survived much. I have been carried through days worse than this. I have resources inside me that no loss can steal. I am not empty, and I never was." This remembrance steadies your nerves. You begin to risk wisely. You are not reckless because you value what you have, but you are not paralyzed because you know that even if one path closes, you remain a man who can build again. When you think about your future, let gratitude shape your images. Do not picture yourself as a desperate figure finally grabbing what the world has withheld. See yourself as you truly can be, a man who has grown in wisdom, who has multiplied his abilities, who has used his opportunities well, and is now surrounded by the fruits of years of grateful labor. Imagine yourself walking through your days with calm, with strength, with generosity. Imagine the people you help, the problems you solve, the good you create. Then instead of saying, "if only," say, "Thank you that I can move in that direction starting now." Link your gratitude to the journey, not only to the destination. You will also need gratitude in dealing with your own imperfections. There will be days when you fall back into old patterns. You will snap in anger, waste time, make foolish choices. The ungrateful mind says, "See, I am hopeless. I will never change." With that verdict, it throws away the progress of months because of a single misstep. Gratitude says, "I am thankful I noticed this. A year ago, I might not have. I am thankful I feel the sting because it proves my conscience is alive. I am thankful I can begin again." This attitude does not excuse the failure, it redeems it. Instead of letting it become a chain, you turn it into a tool. Remember, you are not asked to be grateful for evil itself. You are asked to be grateful for the power given you to overcome it, to learn from it, and to turn it into something that builds you instead of breaks you. There is a difference. A man who pretends that every cruelty or injustice is good is deceiving himself. But a man who says, even this can be used, is strong. Life yields its deepest treasures to those who refuse to be permanently poisoned by what they suffer. Gratitude is the antidote. As your practice deepens, you will begin to notice a striking change in the people and circumstances that come into your orbit. Men who thrive on gossip, complaint, and bitterness will feel less comfortable in your presence. They will either quiet themselves or drift away. Do not chase them. Let them go if they must. Their absence makes room for others. Men and women who are also determined to build, to learn, to rise. You will recognize them by the way they speak of their trials, not with self-pity, but with a certain respect, as if they have been through a stern but wise school. With such souls, your gratitude will multiply. Together you will form what might be called a grateful circle, a small fellowship of those who refuse to curse their existence. In that circle, ideas will spark, support will flow, and progress will accelerate. This is not fantasy. Law draws like to like. Complaining hearts find one another and sink together. Grateful hearts find one another and rise together. You have already seen this in small ways. Now you are choosing it consciously. Do not underestimate the influence you may have on those who are still trapped in ingratitude. You do not need to lecture them endlessly. Live the principle and speak of it simply. When they hear you say, yes, this is hard, but I am thankful for what it is teaching me, they may scoff at first. Yet your steadiness will quietly unsettle their despair. When they watch you treat small gains as meaningful, they will wonder why their larger gains never satisfy them. Some will resent you for it. Others will eventually come to you with honest questions. Be ready to answer, not with slogans, but with a story of your own transformation. In the end, gratitude is a way of honoring life itself. You are saying by your attitude, I accept the responsibility of being alive. I will not waste this opportunity. I will not insult the gifts I have received by behaving as if they are nothing. I will use them, multiply them, and return more than I was given. That is the pledge of a rich soul. Such a soul cannot remain poor in outer things forever. Sooner or later, the inner abundance finds expression in outer forms, in improved work, in stronger relationships, in increased means, in wider influence. You may not know exactly how life will answer your gratitude, but you can be sure of this: it will not leave it without response. The man who walks through his days with open eyes, open hands, and an open heart will see possibilities where others see only walls. He will turn those possibilities into realities. He will bless and be blessed. He will attract more than he imagines, not by magic, but by law. So stand where you are, in the reality of your present life, with all its imperfections and all its promise. Take a deep breath. Look around you. Look within you. Say with full intention, I am grateful. Then prove those words, not with a moment of warm feeling, but with a lifetime of disciplined thought, speech, and action. Do this, and you will discover for yourself that to be grateful for what you have is not to settle for less. It is to open the door to more than you ever believed could be yours. Now let us bring all of this down to a sharp edge you can carry into every day you live. From this moment on, you must stop describing yourself as a man who is waiting for his life to begin. Your life is not sitting somewhere out in the distance, wrapped in silk and guarded by fate. It is happening now. The question is not whether life is moving. The question is whether you are awake enough to move with it. Gratitude wakes you. It pulls you out of the fog of complaint, out of the sleep of comparison, out of the stupor of self-pity, and forces you to see what is already in your hands and under your feet. A man who cannot see what he has will never manage what he receives. Look honestly at the story you have been telling yourself. Have you not been saying, when I finally escape this town, then I will be thankful? When I finally earn a fortune, then I will be generous? When I finally receive respect, then I will walk like a man of value? You have placed gratitude after success instead of before it. That is like a farmer saying, when the harvest comes, I will plant seed. It is the language of self-deception. Success is not the signal to begin gratitude. Gratitude is the signal that you are ready for success. Begin to reverse this order deliberately. When you feel lack, give thanks for the smallest resources and use them well. When you feel ignored, give thanks for the few who do see you and serve them with integrity. When you feel weak, give thanks for the strength you do possess and exercise it instead of rehearsing your frailty. When you are tempted to say, I have nothing, force yourself to list the contrary. Your experiences, your lessons, your skills, your scars, your hopes, each one is part of your capital. Each one can be invested. You must also understand that gratitude does not mean passivity. It does not mean you lie down under every hardship and call it good. Gratitude says, I will take even this and turn it to my advantage. It is not surrender, it is strategy. The ungrateful man looks at an obstacle and says, this proves the world is against me. The grateful man looks at the same obstacle and says, this is training. If I can overcome this, I will be stronger. I will be worth more. I will command more. Two minds, two worlds. Only one can attract the kind of future you desire. From this day, refuse to allow your mouth to betray your future. Every time you speak as if you are cursed, you are signing an agreement with limitation. Tear up that agreement. If you must speak of a difficulty, speak of it as something you are learning from, not drowning under. If you must admit a failure, admit also what it has shown you. Train your tongue to cooperate with your destiny, not with your doubts. You are not pretending, you are choosing which side of the truth will rule you. Carry yourself as a man who has already received much. Straighten your back when you walk. Look people in the eye. Speak clearly. Keep your surroundings in order as best you can. Pay attention. These are not empty gestures. They are declarations. You are saying to life, I know I am not empty-handed. I will not move as if I am nothing. I will honor the ground under my feet. Life listens to such declarations. It does not rush to reward sloppiness, but it leans toward those who honor what they touch. Do not imagine that gratitude will spare you from all hardship. It will not. Storms will still come. People will still disappoint you. Doors will still close. The difference is this. Without gratitude, those events crush you and harden you. With gratitude, they carve you and strengthen you. You become heavier, not with bitterness, but with substance. Others may bend under pressure because they never learned to thank their trials for the muscle they built. You, having learned, become the man who can be trusted when others flee. That trust is one of the highest forms of wealth. Think of the man you intend to become 10 years from now. Picture him in detail. Not only his possessions, but his manner, his decisions, his peace. Ask yourself honestly, would that man live today as you are living now? Would he curse his beginnings, despise his work, waste his time, poison his speech? Or would he treat even his earliest days as sacred ground, as preparation for stewardship? If you wish to become him, you must begin to live as he would live. Gratitude is the bridge between who you are and who you intend to be. You may say, but I am surrounded by people who complain, who mock this way of thinking, who call it foolish. Let them. You are not required to argue with them. You are required to choose your own path. A man who has decided to live richly in spirit cannot afford to spend his life proving his choice to those who prefer misery. Your results will speak. When they see your calm, where they feel only panic, your resilience, where they collapse, your steady improvement, where they stagnate, some will scoff louder to protect their pride. Others, quietly, will begin to follow. Understand this clearly. The greatest gift gratitude gives you is freedom. Freedom from the lie that you must wait for the world to change before you can begin to live fully. Freedom from the belief that your past has already written your future. Freedom from the voice that insists you are always one step behind what you need. Gratitude says, I am not at the mercy of chance. I am in partnership with law. I can think. I can act. I can learn. I have enough to begin. Once that conviction takes root, no man can truly hold you down. So stand now in the privacy of your own heart and make a quiet oath. Say, I will no longer talk about my life as if there is nothing in it. I will no longer treat my days as worthless. I will no longer despise small beginnings, small gains, small lessons. I will be grateful for them. I will work with them. I will grow them. I will prove to myself, to life, and to whatever higher power watches over me that I am a man who can be trusted with more. Then begin. Today, not tomorrow. When you finish listening, do something that expresses gratitude in action. Put one thing in order that you have neglected. Write one letter of thanks. Give one task more care than you gave it yesterday. Set aside one coin, however small, as the first stone of future abundance. Study one idea with full attention instead of skimming over it. These acts may appear insignificant. They are not. They are the first strokes by which you begin to redraw the picture of your life. Keep going. Day after day, choose gratitude when it would be easier to complain. Choose gratitude when you are tempted to envy. Choose gratitude when you feel slow, behind, forgotten. Every choice will add weight to the new man you are building. One day, you will wake and realize that what once felt forced has become natural. You will find yourself giving thanks without struggle, acting with care without argument, expecting good without strain. At that point, you will not need anyone to tell you that you have attracted more than you imagined. You will be living in it. And even then, you will know this. The richest thing you possess is not what you have gathered, but what you have become. A man who can stand anywhere on this earth, with much or with little, and say with honesty, I am grateful, and because I am grateful, I will never be poor again.